Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. 4th of July week. We are in 4th of July week, Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. This is 4th of July week 2012. Happy 4th of July week 2012, everyone. I assume there will be multitudes of barbecue parties all over the country, as well as fools and idiots, little punks blowing their fingers off, and God knows what else with fireworks. I hope doesn't happen, but it usually happens every year. People getting injured.
Reminds me of Wall Street.
Seriously injured from fireworks. Well, what about Wall? What's the correlation?
Because it's illegal what they do on 4th of July, and it's like Wall Street, like they do illegal too. And someone pays a price, and it's usually not them. It's somebody else.
The little guy always gets convicted. Nope, none of the Goldman Sachs boys are in prison right now.
No.
Everybody knows that.
No.
But you know, look, the information is all over the news. It's out there. You know, Alex Jones tells it. Jesse Ventura said it. Whatever progressive liberal politicians are out there that's left, they say it, but you know, they don't get FaceTime by the U.S. media. But I'm sure people are aware that the two-party system is corrupt.
It didn't sound like it from your idiot critic the other day concerning
that stupid
global warming.
He says,
how the hell does he know that all the other planets are warming up?
Yeah,
which ones? Mercury, Venus?
This moron, this moron. He sounds like a typical red state Republican voting idiot.
Sounds ignorant.
He's saying global warming is a lie put out by progressives and tree huggers, whatever he wants to call us, environmentalists, wackos like Rush Limbaugh calls us. And global warming is a myth just to, like, I guess, make money off the green movement or something like that. I don't know.
It's supposedly to stop big business from operating.
Right. So he says the whole universe. He says it almost sounded like the Milky Way galaxy was warming up. All the planets are warming. Well, I got news for him. Some of the planets are always extremely warm and hot. Like
Which planets is he talking about?
Like Venus, Mercury. I don't know. This guy is like.
How did they get away with this?
He has astral knowledge. He knows what's going on the other planets.
Anybody up there with thermometers?
Unbelievable.
It is natural for some of the planets to be warm or hot, baby, like Venus and Mercury.
Or much.
What about Pluto? Who the hell's got a thermometer on Pluto?
He should. You know what? All the foolish idiot lemmings that voted in the Republican Congress should all move to Pluto and stick a thermometer up their ass.
Well, maybe then we'd have an accurate reading. We ain't got one now.
I have yet to receive an intelligent rebuttal, a response from any a Republican supporter out there on the internet with concrete, proven facts, scientific facts. I have yet to receive anything intelligent from any of these foolish red state, right-wing, whether they be fundamentalists, religious zealots or not, lemmings out there, these idiots that believe the conservative propaganda and the teabagger party, the T-Publicans. And right now, with the corrupt two-party system, we have Rethuglicans and Blue Dog demo rats. I want to salute my good friends, Mr. John Starodumsky of Honest Craft Beer Review and Mr. Red Rooster of Regional Food and Drink for inventing those two outstanding words. They are so applicable. Rethuglicans and sellout traitorous Blue Dog demo rats. That's all we have in the two-party system. But I want to also, well, we'll see if it's good news for the little guy in the long run. I want to salute the progressive Supreme Court justices this week that voted for Obamacare. It sounds like a tremendous victory for the little guy, but is it really, or will it really be a tremendous victory for the little guy in the long run? So I want to salute them anyway. Of course, I love the look on the Weeper of the House, John Bonehead Boehner, whatever. He was starting to cry again. Right, that photo, it was Nancy Pelosi clapping with a big smile on her face, and he was like all whimpery, like Stan Laurel, ready to burst out crying.
Well, guess who's coming out now being sort of like a spokeswoman about they're going to repeal Obamacare?
Palin?
Michelle Bachmann.
Oh, she's coming out of the woodworks.
Yeah.
One of the many conservative coven of witches, along with Sarah Nayland Palin and the rest of them. Michelle Bachmann. I wonder what. I already saw some anti-Obamacare stuff already on Facebook. People are saying that basically the middle class are going to end up getting taxed to pay for all this, which really doesn't surprise me, but in actuality, the rich should pay for it.
Well, the actuality is what should have happened in the very beginning was it should have been the public option. Period. Medicare for all. Free.
A modified Medicare system for all. And the rich should pay for it. The rich, they should return the United States back to the original Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Harry Truman, 91% tax rate on the rich. The rich should pay for it all. And that's that. Oh, gee, I didn't realize we were on the air. Hello there. This is Progressive Discussions. I am your host for Progressive Discussions, James P. Madonna, and I am with my co-host and mentor, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. It happens to be a very, we're still in a heat wave here in northeastern New Jersey. We are at the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey. It is in the mid or upper 90s now, right?
94.
94 was like, what was it, close to 98 yesterday?
Yeah, I think it was 97.
Right, and but we stood comfortable with the air conditioning blasting in the research center. It is Saturday, June the 30th, right? 2012. How are you? Last day of the month. This is 4th of July, 2012 weekend, the last day of the month. How are you feeling? How you doing there, buddy?
I don't know. I was just napping and I dozed off and then I got up. So
I nicked myself.
It's like one of those things.
Shaving. Yeah.
When you wake up real fast.
You're disoriented?
No, you get a little like
you're in a fog?
nausea.
Oh, you got up too fast.
I think so.
A friend of mine.
Or I was enjoying a good dream and didn't remember.
You dream. You have elaborate dreams when you nap?
Sometimes. I don't dream that often, but when I have a goodie, I have a goodie.
Sounds almost like the Dos Equis commercial.
Stay thirsty, my friend.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends. Yeah, but naps, I mean, how could you reach that deep REM sleep enough to have an elaborate dream?
I sometimes have a dream in the twilight state between awakening and sleeping.
The twilight state?
The twilight state.
Yeah. Interesting. This is me prop. It is an imported blackthorn shillelagh from Ireland. It helps me emphasize certain things. It is like a gavel. but much more historic and heavy duty and higher quality than Judge Judy's gavel. It is a weapons grade Irish shillelagh.
Yeah, the Irish should use it against the bankers.
Hopefully destined for the skulls of Republicans and bankers and corporate CEOs. I want to mention one thing. I don't have any theme. Of course, the fact that it's 4th of July week 2012 and about the victory for Obamacare. But it's not what we really deserve, which is a public option from a nationwide modified
like
Medicare.
every other industrialized country.
Medicare system, right. But I want to mention my sister came home this week from, well, she decided she didn't want to travel to the other supermarket, ShopRite, so she went to A&P. And she picked up something, and I noticed the rat bastards, but it doesn't surprise me with the American food industry at all. Even though corporate America is always bragging that they care so much about their customers, their consumers, their customer service is second to none. Customers is number one priority. You know what? Bullshit. They downsized the A&P whole wheat pasta. Now it is a generous, and I am being sarcastic, a generous 13.25 ounces. From 1 pound, it is now down to 13.25 ounces. It's kind of like what they're doing with the famous ice creams.
They did it with the ice creams, they did it with the coffee, did it with all kinds of...
Shrink, and the price goes up. Gee. How generous of them.
It's fraud.
13.25. It can't be 14 ounces. Oh, heaven forbid. No, it's got to be 13.25.
Hey, every little tenth of an inch that tenth of a whatever, they can shave off, you know.
They pinch corporate American CEOs and conservative Republicans. They pinch a penny so hard that both heads and tails are on the same side. I got that from the honeymooners.
Cool.
That's how cheap the bastards are. Every little fraction of a cent that they could gouge out of the consumer.
Because when you're talking volume, those things add up.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah, right. Isn't that a little penny wise and pound foolish if you're thinking long term, though?
It's foolish in itself when you're supposed to be getting a pound of spaghetti.
Well, you know, some companies still make a pound, and those are the ones I buy. Whole wheat pasta, a pound. And I am able to take 1 pound of whole wheat spaghetti, 1 large can of crushed tomato or puree, and 1 little can of tomato paste, and I am able to squeeze, because I add water and the tomato paste stretches the tomato paste, I am able to squeeze 2 Sunday dinners out of that alone, if I use a 1 pound box of whole wheat spaghetti. But not this bullshit, you know. I mean, Barilla's another company that downsized their packaging. I don't know. It's greed. You know, this is corporate America. Forget about quality. Forget about people. Forget about the planet. Forget about the environment. It's profit before everything, and that is what the Republicans endorse. And
the essence of capitalism is the pursuit of profit.
Don't we really need Mitt Romney as president, the former greedy, stingy CEO that loves to downsize his company and gouge profit
and keep his money overseas so it ain't taxed over here.
Right.
What a patriotic American.
Oh, really patriotic.
He's got a little, you see it, little flag lapel pin on there all the time.
But they always have that.
That's right.
You know, I found some really good Mitt Romney banners that are going to be part of Stop the GOP, Greedy Old Party Part 5. Some really hard-hitting Mitt Romney stuff is going to be there. And anyway, let us begin with the articles from our local newspaper, The Record. You know, articles that are applicable to the 5 taboos of American life.
People can't be prosecuted for lying about receiving a military medal, the Supreme Court ruled on Thursday, invoking free speech rights to strike down a federal law intended to protect the integrity of armed service awards. The justices voted 6-3 to invalidate the Stolen Valor Act of 2005, which punished violators with as much as a year in prison. The case tested the extent of the protection for false statements under the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't yelling fire in a theater a false statement?
Yes.
When there is no fire?
And you could be arrested too.
Well, that's not part of the First Amendment. That's not protected under there. Permitting the government to decree this speech to be a criminal offense, whether shouted from the rooftops or made in a barely audible whisper, would endorse government authority to compile a list of subjects about which false statements are punishable, said Justice Anthony Kennedy. The case involved Xavier Alvarez, one of the first individuals charged under the law. In 2007, Alvarez was serving as an elected member of the local water board in Pomona, California, when he said at a board meeting that he had served 25 years in the Marines.
Wow, career.
And had been awarded the Medal of Honor.
Did he?
He had never served in the military. Alvarez contended that the court has never carved out an exception to the First Amendment for lies, arguing that the government at least must show that someone was harmed by a false statement.
Yeah. Well, corporations always lie in advertising.
Oh, well, yes, but they're protected by the law.
Interesting.
Corporations, politicians, they are allowed to lie. Advertising is allowed to lie.
Well, advertisers in the United States, what they do is they take a little bit of truth and they exaggerate and what's the word? Embellish.
They do a lot of things. They give you
half-truths, blatant lies, and just a gross exaggeration of whatever little truth they have. Embellish. I like it. Well, I prefer relish.
Relish than embellish. Give me some embellish on my dog, please.
I want some embellish on my home style Frankfurter from Piast, the great Polish meat provision butcher shop. Even though I've been on a veggie burger obsession lately, my veggie burger recipe was a tremendous success, loaded with nutritional density and value.
I just saw a woman on TV that was on she made meatloaf from
roadkill,
walnuts, and mushrooms.
Amazing. Really? Well, she must have used some kind of soy protein in there too.
No.
Mushrooms are for vegans. The mushroom provides the hearty flavor that red meat normally provides because mushrooms are very flavorful in a beefy kind of way.
Like a portobello.
Portobellos have the texture
of
steak. If you marinate portobellos, and they get quite large, I guess the caps, right? Well, the baby portobellos are cremini mushrooms, I believe. But when you marinate the portobellos and grill them, they are very steak-like. So for vegans, that want to have that heavy, satisfied feeling with a hearty, rich flavor, use mushrooms. Use many kinds of mushrooms, not the poisonous toadstools that you find in the wild. Leave that up to the professionals that know what they're doing. Okay, yeah, the veggie burger recipe is posted on Facebook. It is simply I take a quarter of a cup of quinoa, a quarter of a cup of amaranth, a quarter of a cup of organic millet, a quarter of a cup of non-GMO texturized soy protein, a quarter of a cup of red lentils, a quarter of a cup of organic flaxseed meal, and spices of your choice, whatever you want, and a handful of a quarter of a cup of dehydrated onions. You can add garlic chives. I grow them fresh anyway. Garlic powder, and whatever seasoning you prefer, whatever style you prefer. And I put a large handful of crushed roasted teriyaki flavored nori sea vegetables. And the millet is very sticky, so the millet holds the veggie burger together. It's the cement for the veggie burger. And then what I do is I dry pan toast it in a medium pot until it all gets toasty. I keep on going like this, like with the pot. And then after I toast it, you know, I make sure there's some sea salt in it too. Then I boil the whole thing, let it slow simmer until it gets thick, and then cool it off in a container, refrigerate it, and the next day you can make your patties. I make them large because, you know, with vegans and vegetarian, you need to eat a much higher volume of food. This is what you got to remember. You need to eat a much higher volume of food to equal the nutrients of animal protein. This is why herbivores in the wild eat a tremendous volume of food to meet their needs. You know what I mean? And yeah, but this is complete high quality protein, vitamins, minerals. It's a superfood veggie burger, and I did it as an experiment, and it ended up becoming extremely tasty. So what I do is I pan fry all of them in a cold press, let's say extra virgin olive oil, and then I freeze them, and I take them out as needed. I like to use blue corn tortillas as a bread because I hate the flavor of supermarket bread with all the chemicals and preservatives that are in the bread. And it's a complete meal. And like I said, you season them the way you like it. Me, I put curry, a marsala curry imported from India for vegetables. You can do Italian flavor. You can do whatever you want. You know, you can make it bland. You can make it hot and spicy. You know, do what you want. You know, and they come out really good. And it's the millet that allowed me to really do it, because the millet is a very heavy and sticky grain. Now, I was reading about black rice, Dr. Bill. Black rice, which was prized in China in ancient times, is absolutely loaded with antioxidants and nutritional value. Black rice. It's actually a very dark purplish black color. Very high in nutrition, and Mr. Gary Null discussed it on one show. Black and red rice. But the black rice is like the #1 prize. Anyway, next article.
Lawmakers waiting for Governor Christie's verdict.
Oh gosh.
On their $31.7 billion budget, sent several more budget-related bills to him on Thursday, including a millionaire's tax, which he has vetoed twice. The millionaire's tax, one in a series of Democratic-sponsored bills designed to highlight vetoes from the Republican governor on the eve of his 2013 re-election. He's up for re-election in 2013. Let's get his ass out of here.
So Balloon Boy has Balloon Boy, it has about, what do you think, less than one?
Till November 2013.
So he has about a year and a half.
A year and a half, yeah.
Year and a half of that ogre, of that mean-spirited, stingy, cruel, cold-hearted bastard.
Yeah. Anyway, he cleared the Senate along party lines after winning approval from the Assembly on Monday. the measure would increase from 8.97% to 10.75% the tax rate on incomes in excess of $1 million. A companion measure that also passed the Senate on Thursday would dedicate the nearly $800 million expected to be raised from the new tax rate to property tax relief. If it becomes law, the new rate would apply to about 16,000 income tax filers. Christie has twice vetoed Democratic attempts to hike the tax on earnings in excess of $1 million, arguing that such an increase punishes the same job creators the state should be wooing in an attempt to lower unemployment.
Yeah, job creators. Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at all the jobs in New Jersey.
In mainland China,
Wow.
job creation. They're like robots. Like they repeat the same bullshit.
There's no proof, there's no study that cutting taxes
Right.
ever creates jobs or anything but less revenue.
Exactly.
Republicans in the Senate on Thursday said the top-end income tax rate is already too high, and increasing it again would only help Pennsylvania and other states with lower tax rates. This bill will aggravate the situation beyond belief, said Senator Gerald Cardinale, Republican of Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
But Democrats said New Jersey has already been catering to its wealthiest residents. Yes, bingo. Yet the state's unemployment rate remains higher than the national average and one of the highest among the 50 states. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting for job creation, said Senator Shirley Turner, Democrat of Mercer County. We've been coddling the wealthy, waiting for them to create jobs. This week, the Democratic-controlled Assembly and Senate sent Christie a state budget.
Mm-hmm.
But the governor has yet to say whether he will veto it or accept it.
Okay.
The Democratic spending plan would fund new tax relief, but not the direct 10% income tax that Christie wants. Christie, projecting a rapid state revenue rebound out of recession, said New Jersey residents deserve the income tax cut, something he has promoted throughout the state. Remember Christine Whitman
Yeah.
and her 30% tax cut?
Wasn't she responsible?
Didn't work out.
Wasn't she responsible in personally jacking up or allowing the increase of homeowners tax?
She was also
Jersey?
responsible under the Bush administration for lying about the air at Ground Zero in New York City.
Right, right. And she also had illegal aliens
Cleaning her out.
cleaning and cooking whatever they were doing in her mansion. She employed, typical Republican, she employed illegal aliens. Of course, they were probably receiving less than minimum wage off the books, you know, and her housekeeper was treated unfairly. She got pissed and she blew the whistle on Christine Todd Whitman.
Christie is a presumptive Republican presidential nominee for the Midster.
I mean, a running mate.
Romney, yes.
A running mate, yeah. Well, you know, Republicans love the illegal immigrant if they can get them to work for them very cheaply, you know, and exploit them.
Well,
then they
it's
love
all
the
about.
illegal immigrant,
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
right?
But state tax collections have not met Christie's lofty budget projections in recent months, and several outside analysts are projecting only modest growth through 2013. Democrats countered Christie's tax cut proposal with a plan to direct the new tax relief to the middle class tax credit tied to property tax bills. Not across-the-board reduction, they said, would unfairly benefit higher income people. The Democrat spending plan includes $183 million for tax relief, but they said they will not authorize it with legislation until January, and only after seeing whether revenue collections meet budget estimates. Christie responded by saying he will hammer Democrats publicly throughout the summer until they enact tax relief. And he could also bring them in for a special session to force action.
Force? Oh, force? Was he going to sit on them?
That would force action, man. I'd get the hell out of there fast. If he let one go, holy Jesus.
Yeah, he's probably going to have the meeting in a small room, and he's going to fart excessively and use his flatulence as poison nerve gas.
The governor has to act on the budget before Sunday.
Act? He just vetoes everything that's good.
And many observers expect him to use the line item veto to remove specific parts of the Democrats' spending plan with an announcement as early as today.
Wasn't that Ronald Reagan's pride and joy? The line item veto?
I do not think he had it at the time.
No, but he wanted it.
He wanted it. Oh, indeed, he wanted it. Christie has a longer deadline for the Millionaires tax bills.
Right.
And the other measures sent to him by the legislature on Thursday, including the restoration of the state's earned income tax credit, which goes to low-income workers. Christie reduced the credit in 2010 amid state budget problems, and he said this year that he was in favor of restoring it, but not in the new budget year that begins on July the 1st. The bill approved Thursday would restart the credit after July the 1st. The Senate also passed a bill Thursday that seeks to prevent the state from diverting energy tax revenue from local governments and into the state's general fund.
Okay.
Speaking of the Mr. Romney, latest complaint about President Obama that he could not get anything done on immigration while he had majorities in the House and the Senate is telling. First, it shows the presumptive Republican presidential candidate's willingness to distort. He must know that the reason immigration reform and other programs was not passed was because of the need for a supermajority in the Senate, where the Republicans, the Republicans, used the threat of filibuster more than any time in history. They blocked almost everything the president tried. It also shows Romney's unconscionable acceptance of the Republican strategy that the party would not pass anything the president proposed that might help the nation and make him look good. When you have a party whose Senate leader states that his party's main goal is to prevent the president's re-election, the whole country suffers. A presidential candidate should rise above that. Those who have ears, let them hear.
That is right.
Mister.
And those that cannot hear probably have ears of corn. which incidentally is delicious to eat with your barbecue this 4th of July. Nice, fresh, steamed,
GMO!
non-G...
Corn is GMO!
Sweet corn on the cob, white silver queen, like I used to have down in Maryland when my aunt and uncle lived in Maryland. Sweet silver queen, white silver queen corn, steamed in the husk. You could do it on your barbecue. I guess you leave it in the husk. You know.
Husky corn.
No, there's nothing like the flavor of sweet corn on the cob, man.
GMO.
As long as if it's GMO corn. Oh boy.
You're not going to get anything but GMO corn
Frank,
unless you got. And of course, they want to put those little farmers, those organic farmers, out of business.
So the whole concept of local and organic food sources for America, they want to destroy that.
The FDA. Check out Gary Knows, the FDA. War on health. War on health.
Well,
Go to
actually,
Gary Knows TV or GaryKnows.com.
actually, it's the war. Yeah,
ERN.
the tyranny on a war on health, the tyranny of the FDA, war on health, something of that nature. Outstanding documentary. It's actually the war on the little guy when you think about it.
Yeah, well, all that stuff is in there.
Yeah.
You know, because Monsanto and Halliburton and all these, they get anything they want, and you know.
Jesse Ventura was on the Gary Knowles show for the second time. I don't know if it was on video or not. I think Jesse was on location. I don't think he was physically in the studio, but another excellent program. All right, what do we got?
From Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, to just north of Boston, sea levels are rising much faster than they are around the globe.
Hey, look at the heat wave the whole nation is going through now, man. 100-degree average temperatures nationwide. Strange, man. The Weather Channel notices this strange occurrence.
Matthew 24.
Global warming, huh?
Matthew 24.
In the Bible.
In the Bible.
What is he refer?
All of these things will get worse and worse.
Oh, they got the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, right?
Coming.
Coming.
Well, the one is out already.
Yeah, the false church, false prophets. That's out already.
False Christianity.
False Christianity. That's out already, man.
Oh, he's riding around like crazy.
And Satan coming as an angel of light is already out too, right?
Yeah, well, he's inside all the churches.
That's right. He's inside. He's inside.
Well received. Well received.
Yeah.
Putting one of the world's most costly coasts in danger of flooding. U.S. Geological Survey scientists call the 600-mile swath a hotspot for climbing sea levels caused by global warming. Along the region, the Atlantic Ocean is rising at an annual rate 3 to 4 times faster than the global average since 1990. It's not just a faster rate, but at a faster pace, like a car on a highway jamming on the accelerator.
So that means the island of Manhattan, New York City, might look like Venice, Italy one day.
Well, it may not be there anymore. It'll be underwater like Atlantis.
Well, sure, if the polar caps continue to melt like they have been, including Greenland, I mean...
Hey, all the planets are warming.
Yeah, like that idiot said on that bubble-headed booby said on YouTube. All the planets are warming. Like he knows firsthand. No, this is serious business. I mean, the satellite shows the shrinking Arctic ice cap. They show it every year. But you talk to Republicans and idiots like the big fat slob Rush Limbaugh. You know, you talk to Republicans and they'll tell you it's a myth. So I guess the satellite is showing a mirage, an illusion, right?
Well, if it's against their ideology, they dispense with it completely.
Well, their ideology is all in their heads.
Unfortunately, it's all in their heads. But these kind of problems we usually designate as mental illnesses. And these mental illnesses visited upon the populace usually cause a lot of problems.
Hey, Dr. Bill, is a sociopath is unable to distinguish right from wrong?
Anything he does is right.
A sociopath.
Sociopath.
So there is no distinguishing with moral issues like right
He has
from
no
wrong.
morality.
There is no morality.
Yeah. He has no moral compass.
Would it-
That's why Ayn Rand liked that serial killer. He answered to no one, and she loved that.
Does that sound a lot like today's conservative Republicans?
Yes, those like Paul Ryan and Rand Paul, they love Ayn Rand. She was nothing but she may have been a sociopath herself, who knows?
G.W. Bush
But
was.
she was mentally ill.
G.W. Bush showed those traits.
Yeah, I mean, he used to blow up frogs with firecrackers
And laugh.
and laugh. Yes, it was very funny.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
funny.
I mean, sending
This was his big month, the 4th of July.
sending thousands and thousands of young men and women to die and get their legs and their heads and their arms blown off for the sake of oil and war profiteering, that's sociopathic behavior.
Yes, it is, but he's quite removed from it. So I'm sure it doesn't bother him at night. He doesn't lose any sleep over it.
You mean the ends justify their
Well,
means?
The Republicans,
Their means,
the
right?
corporations, the big corporations, they believe that is the job of the military,
What, to steal other people's oil?
to protect their businesses in foreign countries. I
really?
submit a chiquita banana, a dole, pineapple, etc., etc. That's what happens in those foreign countries.
Monsanto.
The military is there to protect them
And
from the people of those countries.
and the poor and middle class, the poor and middle class in America should care about protecting corporations by sending their young sons and daughters into harm's way.
Obviously we do, because we keep doing it. No matter whether it's a Democrat,
A blue dog,
or a
Democrat.
Republican,
Rethuglican.
we still do it.
Rethuglican. We're not.
Continue to do it.
Yeah, we want to distinguish the good, decent, progressive Democrats like a Senator Bernie Sanders, who deserves a salute.
I saw he had a thing. He had a
Video.
video on.
I
last
sent
night.
it to you.
I saw it.
How was it?
Excellent.
It was a good
Very
one.
long though, and then it cut off at the end. It stopped loading. I was pissed,
Oh,
but very interesting. And I think he went. He was supposed to be on the Tom Hartman show
Right.
yesterday, and I believe after the video, this is only my I'm only supposing this now. I believe he got on a plane and went back to Vermont, and he never showed up for the Tom Hartman show.
did he ever write any books, Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders,
If he retires, he should definitely put out
I believe he does have one.
a book. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could learn. We could all learn a lot from people like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
I'm sure he has seen it all.
yeah, he's quite a experienced man. He's up there in age.
He's one of the last true progressive.
He's an independent.
He's an independent
He's not a demo
because he can't affiliate himself with the two-party
He affiliates
system, right?
himself with the Democrats.
Because that's the closest
Yeah.
thing to his
But he's an independent.
way of thinking. Yeah.
He's an independent, and they would call him a socialist.
So Bernie Sanders, if he wanted to run in 2012, he would have to run as an independent. He would have to.
I believe he thinks he's too old to
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like Ron.
subject himself to
Like
that.
Ron Paul is technically a libertarian, right?
He's a libertarian, yes.
A libertarian is half for the little guy, and the other half not so much for the little guy.
Libertarians basically will give all to the corporations,
Oh, really?
but they also will dispense with abortion and the social issues.
Why would they? Well, they're fiscally have more common sense fiscally than Republicans do.
You would think so, but they do not.
Why?
Because they do not understand that government is not business and cannot be conducted like a business.
Why all this tremendous loyalty to corporate America, corporations?
Because we are a fascist nation.
But why do libertarians who make up they're made up of a lot of middle class Americans? Why would they think that a corporation would have their best interest?
The propaganda has been very strong, we just read it in the Christie
the
thing.
job creators,
Right.
we create jobs. It's a lie. But don't they see that with the unemployment rate and outsourcing? Don't they see this?
We've just gone through 12 years of the Bush tax cuts,
Oh boy.
which have created no jobs. And yet the lie still is out there. Tax cuts create jobs.
They don't.
Well, we just went through 12 years of it.
Well, they do in China.
Yeah,
Foxconn, 32 cents an hour with no benefits, right?
yeah. But they don't hear. And we got history on our side,
Yeah.
and still people don't get it.
The Philippines, they have our office jobs now, $1 an hour, with no benefits, most likely.
I just purchased a compact refrigerator
Yeah,
from Sears,
right.
and the whole thing was conducted by a man in India.
Right. Really?
Yeah. I got him on the phone, and before, eventually then I just ordered the thing, and that's it. He handled it all. From India. Not from Sears in Paramus, New Jersey,
Yeah.
but from India.
Wow.
Of course, I needed the compact refrigerator. What am I going to do?
You need it, you need it.
Since the sea levels have gone up globally about 2 inches, but in Norfolk, Virginia, where officials are scrambling to fight more frequent flooding, sea level has jumped a total of 4.8 inches. For Philadelphia, levels went up 3.7 inches. In New York, 2.8 inches. Climate change pushes up sea levels by melting ice sheets in Greenland and West Antarctica, and because warmer water expands.
Right.
Computer models long have projected higher levels along parts of the East Coast because of changes in ocean currents from global warming. But this is the first study to show that's already happened. By 2100, scientists and computer models estimate the sea levels globally could rise as much as 3.3 feet. The accelerated rate along the East Coast could add 8 inches to 11 inches more. Where that kind of thing becomes important is during a storm. That's when it can damage buildings and erode coastlines. On the West Coast, a National Research Council report released Friday projects an average 3-foot rise in sea level in California by the year 2100, and 2 feet in Oregon and Washington State.
Right.
The landmass north of the San Andreas Fault is expected to rise, offsetting the rising sea level in Oregon and Washington.
Mm-hmm.
The study suggests that the Northeast would get hit harder because of ocean currents. When the Gulf Stream and its northern extension slow down, the slope of the seas changes to balance against the slowing current. That slope then pushes up sea levels in the northeast. It's like a seesaw effect. Scientists believe that with global warming, the Gulf Stream and other ocean currents are slowing and will slow further. Margaret Davidson, director of the Coastal Services Center for National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in Charleston, South Carolina, said implications of the new research are huge when you think about it. Somewhere between Maryland and Massachusetts, you've got some bodaciously expensive property at risk.
Wow.
Sea level projections matter in coastal states because flood maps based on those predictions can result in restrictions on property development and affect flood insurance rates. Those estimates became an issue in North Carolina recently when the legislature proposed using historic figures to calculate future sea levels, rejecting higher rates from a state panel of experts. The USGS study suggests an even higher level than the panel's estimate for 2100. The North Carolina proposal used data from University of Florida Professor Robert Dean, who had found no regional differences in sea level rise. Dean said he can't argue with the results from Salinger's study showing accelerating sea level rise in the region, but he said it's more likely to be from natural cycles. Salinger said there's no evidence to support that claim.
Gee, no evidence to support that claim.
Well, that's the claim the corporations and them want. So they get it paid
So
for.
they
get a hack. They get a hack to come out and say what they want them to say.
Yeah, so that's it. They want.
FDA does it all. That's what happens all the time.
So what happens when it's too late? When there's no turning back?
You see all these doomsday movies that come out and everything like that. And they show that everybody waits till the last minute. And then the problem happens. And then some guy, some hero steps forward.
Hero?
Yeah.
That's what they're hoping on.
And helps them out. Well, actually, it's deeper than that. You see, one of the reasons why some of the people who support these corporations and all this weird stuff is the religious nuts who believe that it doesn't matter because Jesus is coming back and he will repair all things.
And they will be raptured off the earth.
Yes,
and be saved.
They will be saved. Yeah.
Well, science fiction, in most cases, eventually becomes science fact, reality. Unfortunately,
unfortunately, the rapture science fiction will not become reality.
It's not in the Bible. I mean, science reality can be very positive. Like modern day inventions, and things of that nature, technology, but it can also be a curse. It can also be catastrophic, and unfortunately, there might not be a hero like in the movies to save our asses.
There you go. Yeah, because as the Bible, you mentioned the Bible.
Yeah.
The Bible says that the way of peace they know not. So anything man does usually ends up being disastrous.
Well, the history of mankind proves that. We're a vile, sinful species. If listen, the people that embrace the real hard-hitting truth, I mean, the really, really decent souls out there, always made up a small flock ever since the beginning of time.
Well, of course, you saw them in the days of the witch finders,
Salem witch hunts.
The poor slob. Yeah, what happens? I'm just using that as
I'm
one
talking
example.
about from the Old Testament of the Bible, ancient times.
Yeah, but it's just one example, because that's what happens when these people, the nuts, gain power. Only disaster occurs, and the innocent suffer.
Right, and all right.
What about the Roman Catholic Church,
Right.
the Crusades, the Inquisition?
Well,
Same thing.
all right-wing reactionary zealot fundamentalist religious nuts don't just involve Christianity.
No.
It can involve Islam. What do you call radical Islam? Doesn't have
By
to
the
be
way,
only
I
Christian.
saw that DVD the other day.
Was it any good?
Absolutely good.
Okay, we're going to take a break. It is time for the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman's
Astronomical.
When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace shall... Whatever. I'm here. I said astrological by mistake. It is time for the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman's gastronomical delight,
It's time for lunch.
known as lunch. Okay, we will be back with promo, of course. But this is some scary stuff, Dr. Bill, with the global warming. This is not to be taken lightly, but the Rethuglicans continue to take it lightly and say that it's all tree-hugging liberal propaganda lies, but it's not.
To stop big business from making more money. That's what it's all about.
You know what's funny? Mr. Scott Sonnen, who is one of the world fitness gurus on Russian Sambo, mixed martial arts, yoga, and club swinging, he posted something very interesting. He had a picture of a mansion next to a shack where poor people live, and below the photos there were 2 open graves ready to accommodate a casket. And he says, whether you be rich or poor, we're all going to end up in the same place.
Exactly. You can't take it with you.
You can't take it with you, man.
Yeah, but they keep trying. You remember the pharaohs?
Oh, they could take all the treasure they want. Of course, grave robbers will confiscate it, but it doesn't matter, man. You're going to turn to dust. You're going to meet your maker, whether you be rich or poor. You know? Yeah, Dr. Bill, my garden, because of this damn heat wave, and we had like upper 90s yesterday, all my vegetable plants were all droopy. Droopy and mushy. So I really had to water them heavily. Oh well. Time for promo, but before I do promo, I want to show a photo of the patron saint of all Rethuglicans, Ronald Reagan, the hero. Rethuglicans probably light a candle to this man. He is the one, in reality, who shifted the tax burden from the rich to the middle class.
And why your credit card bill rates are high.
Right, and he started deregulation of companies, which allowed them to rip you off, the American consumer. Okay, but he's the one that shifted the tax burden to the middle class. Okay, and I guess the poor in the form of consumption taxes and other miscellaneous taxes. All right.
Yep.
See, Ronald Reagan's trickle-down economics, as he is urinating on America. Pissle-down economics. Trickle-down economics was never meant to work, and it never did work. It is siphoned up to the rich, elitist 1% economics, otherwise known as the devil's economics, not God's economics. And to that gentleman that called us progressive liberals a bunch of commies, whatever, commie pinkos, communists.
Wow.
What's wrong with instead of using communism, what's wrong with saying God's economics? Because that's what it actually is. So Ronald Reagan's trickle down, pissle.
Well, some people, they only have
Go Got that?
It can either be capitalism or communism. That's the only choices we have as far as economic systems are.
Yeah, there's no
Nothing else.
Nothing else. No in between for these people, you know? Unfortunately. All right, we'll do a little bit of promo. This gentleman right next to me here, this is a self-portrait of the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. The Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, my co-host and mentor, is a fine watercolor and gouache, is it pronounced, or gouache? Gouache artist. You can view the William J. Eisenman collection by going to Google and typing in the William J. Eisenman collection. Of course, if you're on Facebook, you can go to the Newsletter Censored Facebook page and see the entire album. If you see a painting that you like, go to newslettercensored.com and email Dr. Bill and ask him if the painting is still available. If it is, the bidding starts at $500 each. Make him a very decent gift offer, and you will get the authentic, one-of-a-kind painting signed by William J. Eisenman. All right? The William J. Eisenman collection. This is the backbone of our entire organization. Founded in 1977 by my co-host and mentor, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. This is Newsletter Censored. It contains the 5 taboos of American life, which is politics, religion, human sexuality, health, and child rearing. It is the type of information that most people are afraid to hear. Can you handle it? Simply go to www.newslettercensored.com, click on the printable order form, and with your gift to support this work, get your free annual subscription to Newsletter Censored. There is more information in Newsletter Censored than there is on our websites or in our talk shows. You need Newsletter Censored. We are living in the end times. You need Newsletter Censored to learn how to defeat a conservative. You need Newsletter Censored to hear the real hard-hitting truth of life. There's nothing else like Newsletter Censored. It does not exist in the mainstream media or the mainstream press. So get Newsletter Censored right now. Subscribe to it.
And that's the new issue you're holding.
This is the brand new issue that's hot off the pancake griddle. Newsletter Censored is the very best way to join and be a part of our organization. This is what we are all about. The backbone. This is the new issue. Just came out, volume number 120, titled Screwed, by William J. Eisenman, PhD. We also have The God Project, by William J. Eisenman, Doctor of Divinity. Was there room for tidbits in here or not really?
Nope.
No room. And then followed by Sexuality, A Holistic Approach, by William J. Eisenman, PhD, as an added bonus. So,
Or an added boner.
added boner. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
So, get your subscription right now. Now, if you go to newslettercensored.com, you will see Dr. Bill for President. Yes. The Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman is running for president as a progressive independent for the 3rd time. Dr. Bill will teach you how to write in a candidate. Yes, you can write in a candidate. And if you can also go to Google and type in Censored on Demand or God Project on Demand Archive Classics, and you can see all of the past shows, the past readings on video, and you can hear it too, of course. Really, I mean, Dr. Bill will teach you that the only way to get corruption out of politics is to simply get the money out of politics, and and of course how to write in a candidate. So, you know, unfortunately, Dr. Bill, the American media does not give face time to any independent candidate. We are not invited to any political debates. It's always a two-party system because the media is controlled by corporations. And corporations want the corrupt, sleazy, dishonest Republican to get elected.
Yeah, it's much easier for them to give moolah to two guys rather than a bunch of guys.
Yeah, well, the blue dog demo rats, which are sellouts, or the Republicans, right-wing Republicans, they will continue to make sure that the 1% does not pay any taxes at all and be deregulated, which means they have legal authority, legal permission to lie to you consumers and rip you off. It's like a kind of glorified white-collar criminality, right? White-collar crime. It's like taking...
They get the laws changed so it's no longer criminal in their eyes.
So, in a sense, collectively, they have been doing what Bernard Madoff did when he made off with everybody's money, get it? But they decided that they arrested and threw Bernard Madoff in prison and threw away the key, right?
Yeah.
But all the top fat cat 1%ers and the Goldman Sachs boys and all these people never got in trouble for what they did. But didn't they do a lot of this? Didn't they commit a lot of the same sins that Bernard Madoff committed in terms of
bigger sins? They brought the global economy to its knees.
And what about ripping off money that does not belong to them, right? Getting bailed out by the taxpayers?
Subprime loans.
Subsidies.
Took advantage of the poor.
Yeah, price gouging with the banks.
To make a fee.
Right, and Ponzi scheme? Win-win situation? No matter what, they always come out smelling like a rose. So, you know.
But they feel that since they got the laws changed, you know, they're not criminals. They have no moral compass.
So,
They're corrupt.
a corrupt person that is a sociopath with no moral compass and no family values, even though they like to talk about family values, the Republicans, they do not see anything wrong with deregulation and lying.
They see nothing
stealing
wrong
from you.
with making a buck, no matter how they do it.
So they are Machiavellians. The ends justify the means, right? And their end is profit.
And self-centered.
Sounds like the devil's economics. Doesn't it sound like Satan's rebellion? First sin is what? Pride? Selfishness? And then greed goes...
Sins are all the same.
Greed falls along with that,
There's no one greater than the other.
you know. But, you know, the foolish, idiot lemmings, the middle-class lemmings of America, they voted in a Republican Congress despite the proof being in the pudding. They voted in for Republicans that do not have their best interests at heart. I always say this all the time, but it boggles my mind how they did that. They're deceived, they're fooled, they believe the conservative propaganda. And now we're stuck with a Republican Congress. Let me make myself useful here. So we will get back to the newspaper articles. That painting is not done yet, right? Correct? Okay. Yeah,
Don't get time.
so I won't show it.
Don't get time to paint. Of late.
You have been a very busy man lately.
Had to get the newsletter out,
That's right.
you know. Study, study, study.
Research, research, research.
Because I don't particularly believe in doing what right-wingers do, you know. Just get it out there. Don't have to be true, don't have to be whatever. I just get it out there.
Well, you have a
You see that CNN
yeah.
and Fox News lied.
Oh, really?
Yes. They said
So even CNN?
they said that the Supreme Court
Right.
had killed the mandate, said it was unconstitutional. And it wasn't. That's not what the court decided. So it took them like 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes to correct themselves. Now you must ask the question, where did they get that information in the first place? And why was it of such stature to be put on the news?
Yeah, you're right about that. Why?
No quality control? What? No fact checking?
Well, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman and his knowledge gnomes, his army of knowledge gnomes, they go through everything with a fine-tooth comb before it goes into newsletter censors. And it's full of facts. It's chock full of facts. Just like an evangelist or a pastor worth his salt will always tell his congregation, he will always give references to Scripture and tell them where to find it.
Yeah.
You know, same
But
thing with politics.
Remember, if a pastor tells the truth, his flock is always going to be small.
Yeah, people like the feel-good sensation of somebody getting them all excited and telling them what they want to hear, like God was a Santa Claus or a genie in a bottle, you know, or Big Daddy Warbucks.
Yeah, well, he finds the best parking spaces for Joel Osteen in the mall.
Well, that Joel Osteen, who's a greedy TV evangelist, he looks at God as being a daddy warbucks because all he talks about is prosperity.
Mhm.
Rich. God wants you to get richer and richer. He never mentions Scripture.
Yeah, he never mentions how to. Jesus told the rich man, you want to enter into life, sell everything you have and give it to the poor.
If you want to reach the kingdom of God, right? Sell all your material possessions and give it to the poor and follow me. And the rich man couldn't do it.
No, sir.
And that's just the beginning of what the Bible says against the rich and against greed and stinginess. It's loaded with information telling the rich to give to the poor and help the poor. You know, they just don't choose to read it.
Or they'll change it.
Yeah, they'll
If
change
they don't like it, they'll change it.
like they did to the Constitution.
Or they'll give their own interpretation.
Right? Like G.W. Bush did to the Constitution.
Yeah.
Change it. All right, back to the articles.
Mr. Obama did the same thing. With the Constitution,
Should I say demo rats? Blue dog.
Demo rats.
Blue dog demo rats.
Corporate ass kissers. We're back on, speaking of asses.
Corporate cocksuckers.
Speaking of asses, we're back on the big boy.
Which one? Balloon Boy? Christie?
Governor Christie amped up his attack on Democratic lawmakers on Tuesday,
Yeah.
singling out a key committee chairman from Bergen County as an arrogant son of a bitch. In his first appearance since the legislature approved a $31.7 billion state budget, but not the income tax cut he has been touting all year, the governor, who has branded himself nationally as a plain-talking Republican who can work with Democrats to accomplish big things, such as a cap on property taxes and cuts in public employee benefits, threatened to campaign against the Democrats' tax policies this summer and to kick their rear ends from one end of the state to the other. I am going to travel all over the state of New Jersey, and I am going to point out to every living, breathing New Jerseyan I can find that these folks lied to you. They lied to me. The Assembly and Senate, which are controlled by Democrats, sent the governor a budget Monday night that funds business tax cuts, tax relief for low-wage workers, both of which he supported. But they said they would delay the tax relief that Christie has been seeking, which would cost $183 million this fiscal year, until January, to ensure that the state can afford it. The Democrats had also supported some form of tax relief. Indeed, the governor has even said he'd go along with their plan for an income tax credit linked to property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
But they held off at the last minute because of the revenue picture. Christie, who has amassed a growing list of broadsides against Democrats who have disagreed with him on a variety of issues, saved his toughest words on Tuesday for Senate Budget and Appropriations Committee Chairman Paul Sarlo, Democratic mayor of Woodridge. I have to tell you something, the governor said. You've got to be one arrogant son of a bitch to be telling the people of New Jersey he'll decide when you've been good enough to get some of your own money back. Sarlo responded later that he wasn't going to get into a war of words with Christie. I'm not going to resort to name-calling, especially against the office of the governor. I have too much respect for the office. But on the Democrats' decision to hold back on tax relief until state revenues show improvement, Sarlo said, we're being the fiscal conservatives here, not the governor. He is being reckless.
Yeah, there's no need to resort to cursing in the state. In the Capitol, you just throw, you give him questions that he really can't answer. You trip him up. Use sarcasm, use facts, proven facts.
Christie did not say during the event in brick billed as a town hall by his office what he will do with the Democrat spending plan. The governor has until Sunday to act on the budget. Christie's criticism of Sarlo on Tuesday included his interpretation of Sarlo's comments to a newspaper columnist about why the Democrats decided to delay tax relief. It's like with a kid, Sarlo was quoted as saying in the Star Ledger, referring to the governor. We're putting the cookies on the table and saying, be good, and you can have it later. Christie told the audience that Sarlo was likening taxpayers to children. He was speaking about Christie, not children. He said, it's like dealing with kids. You put the chocolate chip cookies on the table, you tell them you can't have them until they're good, Christie said.
Well, of course he's mentioning chocolate chip cookies, that fat pig.
Sarlo, in the interview, said Democrats look forward to Christie's promised summer campaign on tax policy. If he's honest with the people, tells it like it is, then the people will recognize that we're being fiscally responsible. Christie, who has widely promoted his call for an income tax cut, as his name has been mentioned as a possible running mate for presumptive GOP presidential candidate Mr. Romney. He appeared with Romney later on Tuesday at the fundraiser in Middlesex County.
Heaven help us all. Oh my God, can you imagine that? Chris Christie as vice president?
No.
You might as well just put in the Emperor Nero or something,
As New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg
this guy, control freak,
demands a citywide ban on big sodas, fans of the fizzy drinks,
fizzy.
they ask, just how unhealthy are they?
Well, they got loads of sugar in them.
And will banning them really have an effect on obesity?
No. It's banning the biggie? No, because the American sodas have a lot more sugar than the same soda sold internationally.
In the long run, drinking too many sweetened beverages can lead to obesity.
True.
And related diseases such as diabetes.
True.
However, we need to look at the big picture. If someone is healthy and enjoys a soda every now and then, I don't think it will cause major problems. But I don't know how many people can consume 2 to 3 regular sodas a day and maintain a healthy body weight.
If I was them, I would drastically reduce the amount of sugar put in the soft drinks by the companies, and maybe spike it with stevia and to replace some of the sugar. You know, maybe have a sugar stevia blend, perhaps, or 100% stevia, and just reduce it way down. There's no need for all that sugar. I mean, I told you that one time I ate a sugar-free apple turnover and it tasted fine. There was no sugar added. It was fine.
Sugar in the apples.
There's enough sugar in the apples. And between the apples and the cinnamon and a little bit of raisins in there, it was fine.
And there's sugar in the raisins.
Yeah, natural sugar found in fruit with the fiber of the raisin.
What the hell did they do before white sugar?
Hey, you know,
white flour. Didn't they bake cakes and didn't they bake pies without any white sugar way back when?
Listen, if you taste what the Spanish called panela, which is a natural dehydrated sugarcane juice with all the molasses, you know, the nutrients in it, minerals, and I mean, it's like eating a fruit, more or less. It's a type of fructose, but you don't need as much. I would go with the stevia, which is a natural herb used by the Paraguay Indians for centuries, and it is 0 calories, and it does not raise blood sugar. It's safe for diabetics. Go with the stevia, or the one from China that's really good, monk fruit, lo hang quo. It's like the Asian stevia. Go with things like this. You don't need all that sugar. You don't need, what is it, like 14 or 17 teaspoons to 1 can.
We're going to get to that.
To 1 can of Coke? All right, go ahead.
We're going to get to that.
Woo!
Bloomberg, citing the nationwide obesity crisis, wants to ban soda, energy drinks, and pre-sweetened iced teas in any size larger than 16 ounces from being sold at fast food restaurants, delis, movie theaters, sports arenas, and other establishments regulated by the health department.
All right.
That would mean a can of soda, 12 ounces, would be fine. But those 20-ounce bottles, often sold in checkout lines, would be illegal. A public hearing on the proposal is planned for July the 24th. The final vote by the New York City Board of Health is set for September 13th.
All right.
Regular and diet sodas contain a bevy of chemicals that are bad for you. High fructose corn syrup,
Bad.
refined sugar,
Bad.
phosphoric acid, a flavor enhancer that can suck the calcium out of your bones,
Nice.
and sodium benzoate, a preservative with no nutritional value. The sugar is regular soda's biggest issue. One 12-ounce can of Coca-Cola contains 39 grams of sugar, the equivalent of 15 sugar cubes.
Each cube representing 1 teaspoon, I believe.
Sugar causes your blood sugar to spike. This spike can lead to inflammation and insulin resistance, both of which may increase your risk of stroke, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and cancer.
Cancer cells, as well as bacteria and viruses, love to feed on sugar. Everything bad loves to feed on sugar. And they also love, cancer cells love an acid, low oxygen environment. They cannot live in an alkaline environment.
Otto Warburg.
Mm-hmm.
Americans still make regular soda a large portion of their diet. According to a 2010 Department of Agriculture study, soda is the third highest source of calories for children ages 2 to 18, and the fourth highest source for those 19 and older.
Right.
An extensive study on soda consumption by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in 2011 revealed that more than half of the entire United States population has at least one soft drink a day.
On average.
Either at home, 52%, or elsewhere, 48%. The problem with drinking large quantities of soda is that it won't fill you up the way solid food might. Calories consumed in liquid form often do not satisfy hunger as effectively as calories consumed in solid food form. So people often consume more total calories, which can lead to weight gain. And what about diet soda? It won't contribute to weight gain. It does contain artificial ingredients that could cause inflammation of the digestive tract. The American Beverage Association is fighting back against Bloomberg's proposal. It launched letsclearingup.org, a website dedicated to debunking myths about the soft drink industry. The ABA states that from 1999 to 2010, full calorie soda sales have declined 12.5%. It also says that the association has addressed obesity in its own way through bigger calorie labels, a variety of smaller portion sizes. See, now they're defending the smaller portion size as less calories for you people, so you don't get so freaking fat.
And how come the same Coke and Pepsi has a lot less sugar if you buy it in another country? And it tastes better?
Because Americans only have two tastes on their taste buds. Salt and sugar.
Salt and sugar. Well, it used to be salt, sugar, and fat, but now America has been weaned off of fats, but you know, they want you to be addicted to sugar, the American food industry. They want that. It's a cheap filler. And it makes you, these people addicted. They don't want you to be healthy. You think the FDA cares whether or not America's healthy? They just want your money.
Anyway, the smaller portion sizes, such as the 7.5 ounce mini can and the 8 ounce aluminum bottle, and more Pepsi 1 and Sprite the Zero.
Yeah, Sprite's loaded with caffeine, I hear.
Whether soda is a scourge or a simple thirst quencher, Americans are unlikely to stop reaching for it. As a society, we really do need to be careful when we try to attribute any one food group or beverage, for that matter, to obesity or any health epidemic.
Remember what the late, great Dr. Robert C. Atkins said one time on the radio? He says, gee, whatever happened to plain old-fashioned water? Or water with lemon or lime.
Well, wait a minute. Some of the waters have sugar in it.
Very refreshing.
Watch.
Go ahead.
Sugar and calorie content of popular drink brands. All 12 ounces except for Red Bull,
Oh, God.
which is 8.4 ounces.
The heart rate going through the roof, right?
Coca-Cola, 39 grams of sugar, 140 calories. Pepsi, 41 grams of sugar, 150 calories. Sprite. 38 grams of sugar, 140 calories.
Oh boy.
Mountain Dew. 46 grams of sugar, 170 calories.
Give me that old Mountain Dew. Remember that song?
Sunkist.
Yeah.
43 grams of sugar, 170 calories.
Really?
Vitamin water. 19 grams of sugar, 80 calories.
That's the sports drink. And that's not talking about Gatorade, which probably has a lot of sugar in it too.
We'll get to Gatorade.
Oh, really?
Red Bull. 11 grams of sugar, 110 calories. Remember, Red Bull is in a less 4-ounce can.
It's a high
8.4.
It's a highly caffeinated
that's
so-called energy drink.
Yeah. Well, so is Mountain Dew and
Vitamin water.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
Dr. Pepper.
Hate it.
Speaking of the devil, 40.5 grams of sugar,
Wow.
150 calories. And Gatorade Fruit Punch.
Here we go.
Would you like a fruit punch?
You mean all those athletes?
Sure.
All those
Pow.
all those athletes. Oh, that's Hawaiian Punch. How about a nice Hawaiian Punch? Pow. Gatorade is endorsed by all those athletes and football coaches, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
21 grams of sugar,
Yeah.
80 calories.
Unbelievable. Oh, folks, never buy diet soda. I don't care how cheap it is on sale at a gas station in the summer, sitting out in the hot sun,
Ooh.
because the sweetener, the artificial sweetener that's in diet soda, is most likely aspartame, a harmful chemical.
Ethanol, right?
Yeah, as it made by
Alcohol.
I think it's made by Monsanto.
You bought it out,
Aspartame.
yep.
Aspartame converts to formaldehyde
Yeah.
in the hot sun and in high temperatures. Formaldehyde, the embalming fluid. Dangerous, man. Don't buy any diet soda that's been sitting outside when it's hot, or especially out in the sun at a gas station. But there you have it. I mean, it's a known fact that internationally they put a fraction of the sugar found in American soft drinks. And when are people going to wake up?
Never. They're diluted.
Diluted. The whole world is deceived. Book of Revelations. All right, we got a little article there.
This article said that 2 years ago, the Christie administration backed off plans to require an additional well test for perchlorate,
Mm-hmm.
a chemical ingredient of fertilizer and rocket fuel that has been found in some private and public wells in North Jersey and poses health risks for pregnant women and infants, even with short-term exposure. The New Jersey Realtors Association and New Jersey Builders Association had opposed the rule, citing the potential financial costs to homeowners with private wells. Doesn't that just about say it all? The privatization, pollution, and paving over of America continue, compliments of the Republican Party, which cares nothing about the environment, unemployment, the widening wealth gap, or any number of issues affecting people, and concerns itself solely with the profit motive. Heaven forbid the wealthy and the corporations that benefit by such politics should be inconvenienced by trivial matters like the general health and well-being of the nation, or worse, its people. Interesting that Republicans consider any level of taxation and or regulation excessive, but no amount of exploitation or neglect is too much in the quest for wealth, common sense, and the public be damned.
You know, this very small article you just read at the very end of our show this week is my favorite article of the show. That little article is right on the money, very hard hitting, and you should save that. Who wrote that? I think the name should
I
be...
have to put my glasses back on now, don't you?
Yeah, but it's a fantastic article. It's a really, really great article.
I guess I can read his name. He put it in the paper.
Yeah.
Mr. Richard Pellegrino of Rochelle Park, New Jersey.
Very articulate, very highly intelligent man, Mr. Richard Pellegrino of Rochelle Park, New Jersey. I salute you with my lucky blackthorn shillelagh. Outstanding article. Very smart, an articulate man. Okay. And, you know, I'm sure it's no relation to the San Pellegrino Italian mineral water. But, good job.
Never avoided it.
Yeah, good job, Mr. Richard Pellegrino.
Are they in New Jersey?
Huh?
Are they in New Jersey? I never heard of
Yeah.
it.
Rochelle Park is right next to where we're from.
I mean the Pellegrino water.
Oh. No, it's mineral. It's supposedly mineral water. Supposedly. Instead of being seltzer, it's naturally... Well, I don't know if San Pellegrino is naturally carbonated. I think the one from Germany... I think Perrier is naturally carbonated, and this one from Germany, but real mineral water is supposed to be naturally carbonated.
That's very funny, you know. You should mention Perrier. They drink wine over there because the water's not that great, but yet they sell it over here. They bottle it and sell it over here. What the hell?
Well, you know, King Henry VIII had drank ale and booze all day long because the public water during the Middle Ages was contaminated.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't filtered like we have now. I mean, you know, they had no choice. So
That's
they were...
why they drank beer and mead and wine and, you know.
So they were crocked most of the time.
Well,
I'm sure the boys over at Honest Craft Beer Reviews would appreciate that, drinking the big tall ales and beers instead of water.
oh my.
Whatever else they had. But anyway, thank you for joining us for this week's Progressive Discussions. And
Have a great holiday.
Have a great...
Safe holiday.
Wait a minute. Have a great, fun-filled, and safe, most of all safe, 4th of July holiday coming up. I believe it's this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right? 4th of July. Do not go crazy with fireworks. Watch other people's fireworks. Don't even spend the money and risk the dangers.
And don't fall for this Republican crap just because they got flags and sparklers and fireworks and all that they are patriotic. They are not.
They hide behind... They're flag wavers. They hide behind false patriotism. Because if they were patriotic...
They wouldn't be trying to destroy the United States government. Making it small enough to drown in a bathtub.
They wouldn't be outsourcing all the American jobs. They would pay their fair share in taxes, and they would respect and take care of the veterans coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan. No veteran in the United States would be homeless living in a tent if the right-wingers were truly patriotic.
Correct.
So, you know, don't talk the talk, walk the walk. And they don't do that.
And take that stupid lapel pin and
shove it up their ass.
Shove it up their ass.
They're arse. But, you know, I mean, it's pathetic. The phony hypocrisy of the right-wing Republicans. Rethuglicans.
Yeah.
You know, thanks to John Starodumsky for lending out that word. Rethuglicans. Rethuglicans. I used to call them dummy rats, but the blue dogs are no dummies. They know what they're doing. They're simply bought out, right?
Yeah.
Demo rats. Thank you for joining us. But I just hope I just hope that with all of the information that's out there, and the fact that President Barack Obama is finally rolling up his sleeves and getting ready to fight hard, like our side should fight hard. I hope that enough people wake up and see that, we don't need a bigoted, a racist, pro-corporate, greedy son of a bitch Republican in the Congress, the Senate, and the White House. I hope they use their heads, Say so long to everybody.
So long, everybody.